Welcome to another edition of the CS Podcast, where you can hear interviews with special guests such as
Dayon Buchanan, Tom Waddle, Dakota Dozier, Brent Berry, Ed Werder,
and many others.
Too big, too strong, too fast, too good.
So be sure to subscribe and tune in to the CS Podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/ChristianRE722.
Did you not get the memo?
That's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722 for great interviews. Be sure to check out the CS Podcast.
You are ridiculous.
Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Shanafel, and I am now joined by 2014 NFL Draft prospect, offensive lineman out of Furman, Dakota Dozier. Thanks for joining the show, Dakota. How's it going, man?
It's going well. Just enjoying this Thursday, and the weather's a little bit nice, so it's been fun to not be cold anymore.
Well, coming from, we're here in Chicago, so I definitely know what you're talking about. It's the first day of spring out here, so it's definitely feeling nice, definitely enjoying it. I gotta say, I really appreciate you taking some time to join the show, Dakota, and we're going to be talking about your football career. And I want to start this interview off by asking you a pretty simple question, and I'm going to take you back to your high school days. I know you had a lot of success at both wrestling and football, and you played a number of positions in high school, such as offensive tackle, defensive tackle, and defensive end. Now, coming out of high school, how did you decide to attend Furman University?
It was actually pretty simple for me. It came down to App State, Furman, and Wofford, and I just took my visits and just fell in love with everything Furman had to offer, and it was just a great place for me, and I knew that I couldn't go wrong by picking Furman.
You redshirted your first year in 2009, and it was in 2010 when you were named the starting left tackle for Furman. You were actually the first freshman offensive lineman to start for Furman since 1996. What was your reaction like when you found out that you won the starting job? Was it expected at all, or did it come as a surprise?
It was kind of expected. I come in and I did redshirt my first years, but there was some talk of me not redshirting and being able to play a little bit, but the coaching staff made the final decision to let me redshirt, and that set me up to win the opening job as a redshirt freshman, and then obviously hold that job for 4 straight years.
Now, I want to fast forward quite a bit here, Dakota. Coming into this past season, what were your expectations knowing that it'll be your final chance to prove to everybody that you can indeed play at the next level in the NFL?
For me, it's, people say you don't get to anything, but I wanted to leave Furman on a good note. Furman had a lot of history, winning championships and making, deep playoff runs and, winning the 88 national championship. And I wanted to, leave my legacy here. And, we started out 2-4. We were able to finish out the season, and just go on 5 straight wins, win our conference, make it to the playoffs, get to a second-round game. That's just huge, being able to say, hey, I'm part of a team in Furman who's won a Southern Conference championship, made the playoffs. This season was actually the most wins I've ever had. 8-6 is my best record ever. So it was just a lot of fun to go out there with the guys I love, hang out with, spend my time with, and just have fun on the football field and win games. But obviously, as it went, there's people saying, until you have a shot, you have a shot. And obviously, I wanted to play my best, but I never really thought about just I'm playing for the NFL. I always played for my team. Let everything else take care of itself.
Well, like you said, actually, you've been the starter for the Furman offensive line for 4 years, and I'm curious, throughout those 4 years, who do you think has been the toughest player you've had to block and keep away from your quarterback?
We played Florida. They had Ronald Powell, Shree Floyd, and Blake Clemson, Vic Beasley, Malachi Goodman. This past year, LSU, Daniel Hunter, Ego Ferguson, just a lot of good, big-time SEC and ACC teams linemen. All of them are going to end up in the NFL already there. I would say Daniel Hunter was just a little bit more freaky. He had some incredibly long arms. Just had to make sure you didn't let him get into your chest. I thought that Shree Floyd was just really powerful. That was back in my sophomore year. But it's I would say I couldn't necessarily say who's the best. I've definitely gone against some good competition.
All right, Dakota, what do you feel separates you from most other offensive linemen?
I feel like there's just a little bit of knack, in me. You know, Lawman had to have that. But for me, it's just I'm a totally different person on and off the field. I'm laid back and nice to just about everybody when it comes to spending time with people. But when I walk onto that field, it's nothing but business, and that's something I think all players need. Just from whistle to whistle, I'm a finisher. I don't quit in the middle of a play. I feel like I'm very tough. I'm not somebody who's gonna just be okay with giving half effort. I'm always determined to do my absolute best. And I feel like that's what separates me.
You talked a little bit about it earlier, and it certainly sounds like you've enjoyed your time at Furman University. How exactly would you describe your college experience? I mean, are you satisfied with the way you're leaving? Do you have any regrets?
I don't. I really don't. I really enjoyed every moment here at Furman. It was just a great experience for me to grow, mature, become an older a man, and to go to classes and learn different things I've never been exposed to, and to meet different people from different parts of the country. It's been a great experience for me.
Chris Schanfeld talking with 2014 NFL Draft prospect, offensive tackle out of Furman, Dakota Dozier. Now, Dakota, can you tell us what it was like to spend some time in St. Petersburg, Florida, about 2 months ago with many other NFL Draft prospects from all types of different schools to participate in the East-West Shrine Game?
I loved it. I really did. For me, the East-West Shrine Game had a little bit extra for me because I had played in the Shrine Game, North Carolina, South Carolina Shrine Game coming out of high school. And so it was the second time I got to play for the Shriners. But my little sister actually had surgery at the Greenville Shriners Hospital, so it was a little bit extra motivation for me for that game. But I loved the whole experience. Got to meet a lot of cool guys I'm still talking to today. But got to go out there. You'd see the USCs and Notre Dames, the Ohio States, and all this stuff. Big schools, and then there's little old Furman. But I feel like I went out there and showed that I absolutely belong there and could play with anybody at that game. It just gave me an opportunity to show scouts and whole personnel that I did go against a little bit lower competition in FCS, I could compete with these guys and handle them.
That's great. And of course, just a few weeks ago, we had the 2014 NFL Combine, and you ran a 5.42 40-yard dash. You had 23 reps in the bench press and a 101-inch broad jump. Overall, how do you feel you performed at the Combine?
I felt I was okay with it. I didn't blow myself away with my numbers or anything, but I felt like I showed all the people there what they needed to see of me. For me, the offensive line drills was most important. It's great if you run a 4.940, but what does that mean when you're moving side to side, get to a linebacker, moving to the next level? Is it really that important? I feel like I showed I had good hips. I can move. I take good sets. Just had a good posture and everything in my pass rush and everything. So I felt good. And it was just a great experience to be out there in Indianapolis and just being with some of the top prospects and meeting people and whatever. But it was great. I really did enjoy it.
Hundreds and hundreds of scouts attended both the East-West Shrine Game and the NFL Combine. Any chance you're able to meet with any of them? And if so, what are they saying about you?
I've met with several scouts from different teams, and just they like how I move, how I bend. They're still giving me things I can improve on. I'm working on my punch, trying to get a little bit stronger with that. I'm coming from a little bit different scheme from our offense. We didn't use a punch, and so that's new for me to try to get back to using. But they just say continue to work. Focus. The focus now is combine's over, pro days over. Get in football shape. Be ready for the season. Be ready to play football. That's what I'm focusing on right now.
All right, Dakota, just a few more questions, then I'll let you go. I really do appreciate your time, man. When did you find out that the NFL can not only be a dream, but it could become a reality?
It's what little kid doesn't dream of the NFL. And that's, obviously it was a dream for me growing up. But a little bit, about after my sophomore year is when I really started thinking it could become a reality. I started playing really well. I had great competition to play against when we played Florida that year, and I graded out 95. And I ended up finishing the season and got first team also coming. And it just, I talked to people, and I talked to a few scouts that had come to the pro day for those seniors, and they already knew about me. And sunk in a little bit more that this has a shot to become real.
All right, Dakota, if you could compare yourself to any offensive lineman currently playing in the NFL, who do you think that would be and why?
I can't really answer that question. I don't really say I would model myself after anybody. I just go out there and play as hard as I can to get the job done. That's just what I think it takes to be an offensive lineman in the NFL. I don't think, there's nobody I look up to as, I want to play like him. I just want to play the best I can.
All right, hey, I'm not going to argue with that one. Now, Dakota, I may be wrong, but I believe there's only one guy from Furman University who's currently in the NFL, and that's fullback Jerome Felton. Now, maybe it was him, maybe it was somebody else. Has anybody given you any advice on what to expect at the next level?
A little bit. I've had a couple guys, make practice squads and get invited to camp and everything. We had a lineman, Ryan Lee, that came out 2 years ago, and he was with the Steelers for a little while, and then the Saints, and then I think he was with St. Louis for a while. So I heard back a little bit from him. It's football is not just party life now. It's your job, and you just got to be prepared to put in the hours in the film, on the field, whatever it takes to get the plays down. They definitely helped me out a lot.
All right, let's say there's an NFL general manager out there listening to this very interview. Why should he want Dakota Dozier, offensive tackle out of Furman, on his team?
I would say that he wants me on his team because he's going to get somebody who's never going to quit, who's going to be determined to do the best he can, work hard, finish plays, block until the whistle. You're going to have no off-the-field troubles with me. Just a good guy who just wants to win games and be the best player he can be.
Well, like you mentioned, we got the East-West Shrine game past us. We got the NFL Combine past us. Next up is the NFL Draft. Do you have any plans on draft day? Have you been invited to New York, or are you going to be staying at home, partying it up with your family and friends? Any idea how that's all going to work out?
I'm probably just going to be at Furman. Just have a small get-together, nothing big. Just some family and close friends. I'm not interested in having a big get together, big party kind of thing. I just want to be with the people I care about most and enjoy the experience.
Hey, that sounds great. Dakota, I know you've been really busy training, getting ready to achieve your dream, man. I really do appreciate you taking out some time to join us on the CS podcast. Before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to say to myself and our listeners?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head.
Hey, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Best of luck and take care.
All right, you do the same.
Thanks for tuning into the CS Podcast. I hope you enjoyed. Please check out all of my past interviews at www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722. Once again, that's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722. And be sure to follow me on Twitter at Chris Shanafelt.